let's start actually with a scoop by our own Bloomberg's Mark Gurman on Apple. Basically, its multi-billion-dollar push to replace Qualcomm chips in the iPhones seems to be losing ground, seems to be stumbling a bit. When you think about what that means for Apple, what it means for Qualcomm, what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, Katie, the story of Apple trying to switch away from various chip suppliers has been going on for a few years. Qualcomm was the first, and then it became a question of whether they could replace some of the Broadcom chips. And the stocks of both of those companies responded negatively when that news came out. And since then, we've seen some recovery, because it turns out it's really hard to make these chips. And Qualcomm provides the main engine, communication engine in the iPhones, and it's just a really complicated chip. And Broadcom provides some of the filters and other chips inside the phone, also very complicated to manufacture. So, it just means that Apple's going to continue to use Qualcomm. It's really not going to affect them all that much. I mean, they would have liked to have sourced more of the parts of the iPhone internally, because they can grab the profit margin off the chip side as well. So they're not going to be able to do that. But it's good for Qualcomm. That stock's one that's sort of been flat-ish this year. It's been up and down a bunch, but it has suffered a discount because of this fear that Apple was going to switch away next year. Now it looks like it's going to take Apple longer. And similarly for Broadcom. They also saw a little bit of a hit when that news came out, and since then we've gotten better news out of Broadcom saying, no, Apple has signed up for another X years. And so it just turns out, it's important to understand the technology behind these chips when you're making these kinds of investments. These are both names, all three, in fact, that we own for clients, because we're looking at the longer term, and the challenge of these technology evolutions is a significant one. And so for some companies and some kind of products, you can count on the companies retaining these wins for a long period of time and the margins that go with them.